yet another interesting episode of Women Around the Messenger. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How often do we doubt our own courage and strength when it comes to proudly showcasing our faith, our trust, and our belief in Allah? The story we're about to delve into now is about courage, strength, and sacrifice that goes beyond what we can even imagine. This story is about no other person than Sumaya bint Khayyat, the first martyr in Islam. Sumaya bint Khayyat had a humble beginning. She was a black woman from Abyssinia, now known as Ethiopia. She was also a freed slave. Sumaya was a smart, intelligent woman who married Yasir bin Amr. The two had 3 sons, and Sumaya raised them to be the kind, respectful men everyone in the Quraysh tribe knew them to be. She was a devoted mother and was often praised for successfully raising children in a kind and loving manner, which reflected in their character. Her eldest son, Amr, was known for his good character and was set apart amongst the youth. When Prophet Muhammad ﷺ began calling people to Islam, she was one of the first 7 people to accept that call, among other well-known Sahabas like Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu and Ali, and also Khadija radiallahu anha, the Prophet's wife. She saw the truth and logic behind the call to Islam and strove to pledge a faith to Allah and a life for Islam. Unfortunately for Sumaya and her family, who also accepted Islam soon after her, the Quraysh were looking for any way to put a hold on the Prophet's mission. They couldn't directly hurt the Prophet because of his status as Abu Talib's nephew, but they could hurt the regular citizens that were following him. And so Sumaya, her husband Yasir, and their 2 sons became the target of the Quraysh. Once, Sumaya's eldest son Amr wept to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, asking him why they had to suffer so much. The Prophet replied by saying, "Be patient, O family of Yasir, for your final destination is paradise." Abu Jahl decided to punish Sumaya himself, disregarding her old age and status as a mother. He tortured her, threatened her, bribed her, and did everything he could to force her to renounce her faith in Allah. When put in such a situation, it is permissible in Islamic law to falsely denounce Islam in order to save yourself. And Sumaya could have done that to save her life. She wouldn't have been committing a sin if she did so. However, because Sumaya was a mother and she valued the respect her sons had for her, and her love for Allah was so steadfast, she never stopped saying, "There is no God but Allah." And that angered Abu Jahl to the point where he killed her. Sumaya became the first ever Shahid, the first martyr in Islam. Her husband Yasir was soon killed as well, and he became the second Shahid. Their son Amr was martyred in Badr a few years later as well. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had become extremely fond of Sumaya, Yasir, and their sons, and he wept upon their death, and he made dua. He often referred to Sumaya's children as Ibn Sumaya to honor her legacy. There is so much to learn from Sumaya, least of all her tenacity and courage despite her old age. Sumaya believed the Prophet's promise to be true, and it gave her the strength to persist. We should learn from her example to cultivate inner strength and resilience, even when the circumstances are challenging, and to remain strong in the face of opposition or oppression. Another lesson to be learned from Sumayya's story is perseverance in the face of oppression. Sumayya endured unimaginable hardships and persecution, but she never gave up or abandoned her faith. We can learn from her extraordinary perseverance to remain steadfast in our beliefs, knowing that tests and trials are a part of our journey, and our faith will ultimately strengthen them. Let's take a look at Sumayya's sacrifice. Her martyrdom signifies the ultimate sacrifice for our faith, for the sake of our faith. She refused to compromise her beliefs, even at the cost of her life. Let us learn from her example as Muslims that sometimes sacrifices need to be made to uphold one's principles and preserve the values and teachings of Islam. Resilience, patience, determination, courage, strength. These are just some of the words we can associate with Sumayya bint Khayyat. She was a role model, not only for her sons, but for all the Muslims after her, who heard of her perseverance when faced with torture and her unshaken faith in Allah. In the Quran, Allah says, "Do you expect to enter paradise without being tested like